Hello YouTube, this is und Blitzen, or something we've played for a very long time that we generally call Micro Armour. And it's 1/285th, and it's World War II, and it can get very, very large. So what we're doing is sort of a Battle of the Bulge thing with Battle Group Piper. This is the second day. The Americans foibled a little bit and had to recover. My opponent will be playing the part of the remnants of Battle Group Piper. And Brumbars are taking the place of Panthers in that lead battalion for all you history nuts who are going to notice that there are no Panthers in Battle Group Piper right now. But yeah, this is setup. We're not going to bother to explain the rules or anything like that for this video. We're just going to sort of discuss how we play the game in between turns. We've got Regimental Combat Team of Americans, and then hopefully eventually an American Armor Division coming down there. All the way up near our fictional city of TheBLOB, we've got Piper's Yag Tigers and very nice blockade of what appear to be Tiger 2s. Jesus. And then all the way down the line, some of the Panzer Grenadier formations, Mark IVs. Getting close, you can actually see the 20mm flak tracks from the Sturm Flak Battalion. That's some nerd shit I just said right there. And then all the way back here, some German engineers. But yeah, that's set up, and we'll come back at some point after we finish the turn. So we're back at the end of turn 1, and I'm using old Warhammer charge markers to help illustrate some points. So there they are, up and down the line as the units are moving. And we're just going to go right down the line. And let me first say that this first turn was actually darkness, and turn 2 will be sort of dawn. And my opponent and I both basically behaved as though it was daylight, because we very rarely get to play in the darkness. So, going all the way down from left to right in the American lines, we've got 2 platoons pushed out from their lines into the forested region there to get a view on this field. 2 more platoons from this American infantry battalion pushed across in the forest there. Found no resistance. Further down the line, American cavalry troop, because little ones are troops. All right, and the big thing is the squadron. Right. All right. So, cavalry troop moved on the board here, locked up this crossroads with some armored cars and some bazookas, and 2 more troops came in down here. We didn't exactly challenge these roadblocks. And at night, he can't see us at this distance, but we are right on top of 3 platoons of King Tigers and some Panzer Grenadiers. On the German side, the gap has been plugged. Looks like medium machine gun platoon and infantry platoon moving up to fill this. Didn't like what he saw at the crossroads there, but other than that, real quiet for the Germans at night. And that is the end of turn 1. Alright, that's the end of turn 2. Die says 3, but we like to flip it at the end of the turn to remind us what turn is coming up. And there has been some stuff. But most importantly, German stuff. So let's get right down there. The Tiger Battalion is on the move. In what would you call it? Parallel pattern? Like parallel to the American lines? Not lateral, right?
Yeah, parallel.
Yeah, parallel. We'll see what happens. American cavalry troop has pushed up because the Tigers have backed off. They don't like American infantry sneaking around in the woods there, in the forest there with bazookas. And 2 American mechanized infantry battalions have arrived, relatively on foot. One log jammed immediately on arrival by that Tiger blockade and the Panzer Grenadiers in the tree line, but the other, because the crossroads was open, able to push up pretty far, not terribly close to the German line, but close enough, less than maybe a quarter kilometer. Next turn it will be daylight and things will get real titchy. Red Battalion didn't move out, White didn't move out, except they have fortified the crossroads with their tanks. And down here, a regimental jeep has arrived to start spotting German units for artillery.
Somewhere.
Yeah, from somewhere. Glorious regimental command post, that's where. Right there, where it can survey all of the valley below. Not really, because of the forest. So that is turn 2. Turn 3 will be broad daylight, and there's TheBLOB dutifully guarded by Yag Tigers, which will one day have camo and be very scary indeed. Hey everyone, we're back with turn 3, and a lot of stuff happened. Let's go all the way down to the American Regimental Combat Team area, where we finally put in an attack on a Pioneer stand, and he zapped one of our machine gun platoons. That actually pushed the battalion to 25% casualties, and they are now disordered. Not great.
No, they didn't get disordered.
No, me.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the...
No, not you, me. Yeah, the Germans had a chance, actually, to fail morale. This engineering battalion, and they did not. Further down the line, White put in an attack on the flank of that same engineer battalion. And as you can see, we did not kill the engineer. He killed all of us, including a Sherman tank. So, White Battalion has also failed morale and gone to disorder, which means the Regimental Combat Team not feeling so hot. Armored car.
Discovered a world of armored vehicles.
Yeah, but they couldn't kill him, luckily. Red Battalion, reinforcing the force there, getting real close to that juncture. Maybe that back there. I pushed a recon jeep out, I'm not gonna lie. He did not survive. I believe it was that Brumbar.
It was.
Didn't like being spotted. All the rest of Blue Mech Battalion moving up. Down the line here, White is starting to try and wrap around this German Panzer Grenadier position, and they're getting hammered for it quite badly. The only good news down here is that there seems to be a lack of Tigers to the front, and now there's only one supporting that unit. And we actually have driven them out of this patch of woods, but only to that patch of woods, so what can you do? But that is turn 3. The Americans suffered, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lost pieces this turn. Each turn counts as 15 minutes. 7 lost platoons this turn, and we only took down 1 German. Ugly. So we're on to the end of turn 4, and this is getting a little crazy all across the front now. Smoke walls from artillery chutes to block off German positions are happening all along the line. And we'll start down here with the Dowdy Regimental Combat Team, who's trying to push through. And what you can see now is that the Germans have begun abandoning their forward positions, and they've begun retiring up towards the Flak Battalion. And one of the Panzer Grenadier battalions, tank destroyers, moving up to support that. Their casualties, though, have been... They're disordered now, as is the center, which didn't even make a move. Here we've got recon and other elements starting a smoke wall to block out some of these panzers, because this field is untenable as long as the Germans can shoot anything in it. We've got spotting elements exchanging fire down here. You can see artillery landing at the corner of that German position. That Brumbar just continuously firing into this tree line. And now all the way to this flank, where this assault finally went in against those Panzer Grenadiers, and they basically weren't home. He decided to withdraw to his rear position. So the Germans bending their flanks in a little here and there. A couple of holdout elements were left, and Americans were savagely mowed down right there in that field. And finally, last but not least, that's right, the Tiger IIs have retired to actually the city outskirts, on the anticipation that perhaps they may run out of fuel. So this has been turn 4. American casualties definitely going up. And one Tiger. One Tiger killed by American artillery right there at the crossroads in front of white mechanized and the cavalry troops. So that's turn 4. Not bad. So this is turn 5, and a lot is happening, judging by the red arrows just from the big map. Let's go all the way down to the regimental combat team. Blue Battalion with the tank destroyers has finally pushed the engineers away, but the engineers were actually aggressively maneuvering away themselves and are in road column, basically heading off up towards the middle of the pocket. Down the line, white is pushed out a little, but these two units are actually disordered now, blue and white, so Americans aren't going to push them too hard. Down the line here, red was, with the aid of some smoke, was supposed to push an attack into this force. But some things happened. So as the Germans are withdrawing down this road to regroup, blue mechanized from the American armored formations put in an attack on this crossroads. That's the arrow you see here. At which point, 2 companies at least of Mark IVs put in a counterattack right into their flank. And red, instead of being allowed to make that assault, had to send some guys in just to take the fire off of blue. And what resulted was nothing short of a stunning German shootout. We killed a grand total of 1 piece out on the flank. Ugh. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8 maybe. Ugh. And then further down the line,
7.
the Germans.
If you count him.
Yep. Further down the line, the Germans, white mechanized battalions, pushed out into the forest. And you can see the cavalry troops maneuvering, and unfortunately we lost a Greyhound to spotting this Jag Tiger, which is about to get some American artillery. So that is turn 5. In the books, the Americans slowly being whittled down, and the Germans appear to be redoubling their strength. So we'll see what happens. So we're at turn 6, and it was a rough turn for Germany. It's a rough turn for Germany. My opponent is just now sort of putting together what he should have done, which would have been awesome. Here's a look at the board. You can see from a distance there's been attack and counterattack, up and down. And let's start as we always do down here with the regimental combat team. Blue Battalion is pushing and heading this way to cut off the last of the roads, putting the Germans in the pocket. White, with some tank destroyers and whatnot, are moving up. I left the tank destroyers too far behind, and they couldn't take part in this, which was a combined Mark IV Brumbar counterattack into this tree line and shot up a bunch of Americans and even destroyed the AT gun there. 1 Mark IV was taken down doing that. And the redoubtable armored car still lives, somehow. Again, no attack on this position, because once again, the field is death and incarnate. And we fell back with the blue mechanized, and then white armor moved in. And a combination of bad die rolling on the part of my opponent and some placements. And it came out American, for now. Nice armored half-track. Armored half-track actually engaged this Stuart. You can see at the bottom right. You can area fire or direct fire on those. Kind of nice. Down the line, the Germans and the Americans just facing off. You can see the Germans have pushed forces forward into this area right on top of the American position, which has been expanding this way. And the armor column pointing right towards where that Jagdtiger used to be, because the gentleman has buggered off under artillery fire, and they brought up a King Tiger to replace it. And there's American Scout Recon checking this out. All this stuff, by the way, right? All of it mostly coming from GHQ Miniatures. There's an Ostwind. It's a fantastic German piece. But this has been turn 6. So that is where we're going to end this bad boy. Thanks for watching. It has been fantastic. It was essentially a 2-day event, and unfortunately we didn't get the first day on camera because I just wasn't thinking about it at all. So what you missed was why the Americans had to start coming in from this board edge instead of somewhere else. But going down the line, one last review of everybody, starting with the Germans. Yeah, crazy music in the background. Will Ferrell movies. It's a serious one, I think. I'm a big fan of serious Will Ferrell movies. Sue me if you want, Facebook viewers. The man is comedic gold. I don't know about a serious movie. Alright, guys. This has been Donner and Blitzen, an unpublished micro armor game that a friend of ours wrote. We will continue to harass him about publishing it into the far, far future. Thanks for watching.